Hey, lovely ladies. Hopefully Gabs is going to jump on soon. I just messaged her. Do we want to drop in the chat our wins for the week? What you've done. It doesn't even necessarily have to be related to the business, but yeah, anything that you've accomplished for the week within yourself, or if you've got any leads or anything at all that's happened. Hey, Jen.
Hey, lovely.
Yay. We're just doing our wins for the week. And I know you've had lots of wins because you've been on fire. So yeah, just chuck them in the chat. Hey, Gabs.
Hey, morning.
Oh, you look like a sleepy mama.
I'm in my pajamas.
Oh, good work. Yeah, I just chucked on this dress because I was did my first connection call. Yay, Laura. Cool. And how did it feel? Did you feel nervous? Good. I've started tapping into a morning gratitude routine, waking up before my son gets up and get it done. That for me is like my number one, personally, getting up before Zali. And even if I only get 15 minutes, I feel like that just changes my whole day and just sets me up. Half an hour is awesome, but even 15 minutes before he gets up, I'm just a way better mum, way more productive, a better person. Jenny said, manifested in exactly $44,000 I had in my magical script for Snow Japan trip. Yes, oh my God, Jen's going to Japan twice this year. She's going on a snow trip for her best friend's 40th in how long? Like a week? Less? Just came in through house equity instead of 12 quads that I'd planned. Yes, but the 12 quads are coming, Jenny. They're coming. That's so cool, Jen. That's really epic. Monya, getting closer to get my old life out and starting my new life. Yes, I can't wait to have you here in WA. I'm so excited. Where is she? There she is. Trying to find your face. I can't wait. And you have to bring your surfboard. But if you don't, I have lots. So you can use mine.
I'm trying, but I got so much luggage.
So much
I don't
stuff.
know.
Hey,
It's gonna be
what
a
do you
pain to
usually
carry.
what do you usually surf on?
Oh, this one is my favorite. It's a 510.
Okay. Well, I have a 511 you can use for sure. It
Oh,
just sits there and collects
yeah,
stuff.
that would be amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, so excited to have you over here. Tracy has started Alex Tripod's 11-day vibe booster. That's epic, Trace. I really wanted to do that, but I just feel like it was another thing on top of Balage's course and all the other courses I'm doing, but so cool. Monyan had a huge childhood epiphany. Yes, nice, Monya. That's awesome. It's so cool to, with this business, the byproduct of going into your childhood stuff and all your traumas and all that stuff has been huge for me. Jen had 3 calls this week and learnt so much about how to talk to people doing Alex Tripod's 11-day booster too. Epic, Jen. Yeah, how cool are the calls? So I feel like you'll be really nervous on your first one. I know I was. And then the more and more you do it, you're actually getting that like human experience as opposed to just being like keyboard warrior or texting or voice messaging. It actually is the true connection. So that's epic, Jen. And I know that they're going to come through as well. Gabs, you're doing Alex Tripod too. Yay. Oh, heaps of people doing Alex Tripod. Chloe, few moving parts at the moment, but I've just been offered a job, which will give me a lot more stability and time to put into this. And yes, have started a gratitude routine. Epic, Chloe. And job as a nursing or something totally outside of nursing?
Fortunately, sorry, hang on. What have I done? Oops. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Oh yeah. I don't know where I am. Oh, there I am.
Oh, yeah, if you put it on the grid, you might be able to see everyone.
Can you see? I've got no fucking idea how to use tech. Yeah, unfortunately it's a nursing job, but it's
okay.
a
That's
one.
right. There's a means to an end, hey. And at least you can kind of use that as your content too, you know, like you can be nursing and, you know, film yourself doing what you're doing and saying that you're doing it.
I've been doing a bit of that in the background. I just have to be careful for confidentiality.
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But yeah, I've been trying to work on content in the background while all this has been going on.
Yeah, 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 it's a lot. How many hours are you doing?
At the moment, I'm still doing agency. It's really hard being, it's really, well, I guess being your own boss is what you have to do in this business. But with nursing, because I don't really enjoy it that much anymore, it's hard to get motivated to keep
Yeah,
doing.
I bet.
So, yeah, this will just be like 25 hours a week
Cool.
and set hours. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so you can get a bit of a routine going.
Yeah,
You're doing
absolutely.
online business hours, and then at least you've got a lot of money coming through.
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Christy, we can hear you, we can see you. Christy, how's your week been? We're just doing our wins for the week.
Oh, yeah, it's been pretty good.
You've got your partner involved. You got your partner in the business. That's a huge win. Look,
You know,
he's in the call. Oh, you're just cutting out a little bit. Yeah, it might be your headphones. We can kind of hear you, but
okay. I'm not sure.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's kind of cutting out. But let's bring on the men, like Hutch is keen, and we're gonna get Ren in, gonna get all the boys. Calling in more men for sure. Laura, you're doing Alex T as well. Epic. Cool. There's a lot of you guys doing Alex T.
I can hear, but it's not loud.
Oh, we can hear Rodrigo.
Can
Yeah.
I maybe try to put in.
hang on, let me try this. You got me?
Yeah, that's better.
They're better, yeah. So we've got one headphone each. We just walked into his physio appointment and they were like, come and take a seat. We've got these boot things you can put on and made us
Oh,
a green
wow, you're-
tea. And we've got CDs.
Oh, my brother-in-law has them. Yeah, Normatec. They're
Yes,
freaking
you're
epic. They basically like are just air compressors, and they squeeze parts of your legs, and you can actually get ones for your hips, and you can get them for your arms, your body. So he runs like 100K ultra marathons and then comes back and just sits in those, but they're freaking
how good. Yeah, this is the first time I've used them and I'm like, I could do this every week when we jump on.
I know. Very cool.
So good.
Okay, cool. We're going to jump into the call with Alana. Very excited to have her on. Yeah, so Alana, I just did a little post about her yesterday. So she's a mama to her girl. She was doing traditional business work and then fell pregnant and wanted to find more time to spend with her daughter. So she found low ticket network marketing, which allowed her the time but didn't allow the financial freedom. And then she found this business model. So yeah, boom, boom. And then the rest is history.
I'd say network marketing didn't really give me the time either because it was like hustle mode and, you know, myself. Found myself 4 years in on my laptop underneath my mum's house after splitting up with my daughter's dad, you know, crying, overwhelmed, stressed out, and just like, this can't be it, you know, this shouldn't be how it is, surely. Like, I'm ready for something to shift and change. Like, this can't be it. And so grateful that I was able to see a post that someone had bravely, courageously put on their page for me to be able to see, because if it wasn't for them to do that, if they weren't brave enough and courageous enough to and willing enough to share this, then I wouldn't have found this. So I then discovered what automation was, and that was a no-brainer for me in the next step in business. And also, obviously, our commission structure is incredibly rewarding. But what I found at the very start, and some of you guys might resonate with this, is that I was very used to that hustle mode. I was very used to being attached to the outcome. And I had to like decondition a bunch of that BS and really embody some of the, you know, embody the learnings, like what we're being taught through Alex Tripod, what we're being taught through magical scripting, you know, when we understand, you know, the law of attraction, like we raise our own frequency to attract it into us. It's like a knowing, it's a trust, it's the divine feminine. It's like coming back to the divine feminine out of the masculine, which is, you know, where I was like so in survival mode trying to make it all work that I actually was putting out a different frequency that was needed to be able to actually go to another level. So so what I did in those first few months was really practice that deep level of trust, like really go there with deep levels of understanding. I am magnetizing my reality to me now. I even remember moments where I would be playing with my child in the pool and thinking about how I'm meant to be on the laptop. Does anyone do that? Like they're with their kids and they're actually thinking about how they should be doing something else, and they're in well, you're in your hustle mode, you're in your survival mode, you're in the masculine, because you're thinking you have to do, when really the most powerful thing that you can do is actually be super present in that moment, to enjoy the fact that you've chosen a business that can give you what you desire, which is for any mamas out there probably have the same desire, is to be more present with your child. You have to activate that right away. Like you have to learn how to like be fully present in that moment, raise your frequency, get as many gifts out of that moment that you can get, so that you're like fucking vibing so high that the minute that you go to do some work, or the minute that you walk down the street, it becomes so natural for you to attract your soulmate clients, your soulmate tribe, because that's where you're already being who that you want to be. And so you're going to attract the woman that you're going to match, you know, or the men that are going to match that. And so anyway, that was my journey in the very start. And I went into, you know, speaking to the trees. I wanted to make $10,000 in 30 days. That was my goal. I didn't know if it was possible, but my brain was telling me all these other things. It was like, you know, trying to override my manifestation with all these negative thoughts and things. And I was like, no, I just know that's my you know, my unconscious brain. I just got to shift and change it. It will be only a matter of time if I keep embodying that it's true, that it will actually catch up. So I knew that it's just that's just a, you know, it's just a way to, you know, recognize that that's going to happen, but also like go, no, I love ya, you're cool, I get ya, I get why you're there, but we're going to switch that up and we're going to change the way that we think and feel through embodiment. So I went out and, you know, I would speak to the trees. I'd get into places where there's no interruption of frequency. Now, this is something that, you know, right now is challenging, because we got like 5G towers everywhere and things, and we got people everywhere and thought processes going everywhere and mobile phones going everywhere. So it's like really getting mindful of, okay, where can I go that's going to really create a nourishing space where I can really manifest on a high frequency? And a lot of that is nature. And something that I've been diving really, really deep with lately is water manifestation. So anything around water is just fucking powerful. Like and even having your water with you, because you're speaking to water, you're speaking around water, you're coding your own water, you start to hold that memory, you actually can achieve so much more and quicker. And I found that really been such a huge tool in like instant quantum leaps in my business, like manifestation. Like I go back and I look at my ads. So I've changed my thoughts around my ads are converting right now, in this moment, and always forever. These are kind of things that I will be saying in my manifestation right now, in this moment, always and forever. And so when I'm, you know, around the ocean and I'm claiming that my fucking ads are converting, and, you know, I've run most of my business organically for 5 years. So I've only just started ads really recently. But I wanted to test and trial this manifestation tools out. So what's the greatest way to test and trial it is to go and do it for a period of time and see what happens. And so I'm screaming out at the water, being like a crazy person, but loving it. And, you know, and then I go back and I look at my ads and I'm like, fuck, they're actually like my soulmate clients. And I start actually seeing a whole different perspective based on my work that I'm doing down on the ocean and with my words and in my vibration. So going back to my story, in my first 10,000 in 33 days, in 30 days, landed in 33 days, you know, I really embodied it through my words as well. So I actually found people that, you know, I didn't necessarily care if they came into my business or not. I just wanted to test out how it felt to speak what I was going to achieve. So I was using these people as my like blank canvases for me to fucking learn how to speak, like, because a lot of us probably get asked the question, like, what do you do? And like fully freeze, you know, like, I don't know what to say. Or you know, you're not used to sharing your vision with people you know? And so it's like, how can I practice sharing my vision? So random people that, you know, I was meeting and be like, yeah, just join this business and I'm going to make $10,000 in 33 days. Or I'd, you know, I'd find different ways to say that and just see like the responses and see like what happens on the other side and be like, oh yeah, cool. That's what works. Or that's what is received differently, or that's how it's received, you know? And just like play with it. But really I was actually doing it for me to program my own physical form, to get really used to what it felt like to speak also into what I was doing, and then also creating posts to retrain my brain. So looking at things that I was perceiving before and using this as the solution that I had found, and then what I was learning. And even though sometimes my brain was still like, I don't know if that's real yet, you know, on a soul level, I knew it was real. I would be programming myself through my own post as well as my audience. So I was helping them be inspired through my own, you know, programming of my own self. And this is something that we get to do in every moment, is that we can start to look at, okay, what are my words right now? Like, oh, did I just say I have to? Or did I just say I should? Did I just say, unfortunately? Like, like, these are the things that we can start to realize, like, oh shit, I just really much cock blocked myself from having the life that I desire. So what if I just switch that up and go, no, I'm fucking grateful for this because of A, B, C, D, E. And this is going to lead me to this, 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 and this. So you start looking at everything as a value. So why? Because everything that you're doing, whether it's challenging or hard or whatever, that has value. So, oh, wow, this is, you know, I'm so grateful that I'm going through this challenge because on the other side of this, I'm going to learn this, this, and this, right? Or I'm going to know this, this, and this. If I, you know, and so you can start to change that perception and really amplify yourself to in each individual moment to like grow through it. And so, yeah, I just did that and then had my had my $10,000 and I was like, oh, okay, this shit works, right? So, you know, and I did come from network marketing. So I had a bit of an audience on my, you know, in my sphere, not too many, but I think I was really just dialed in, committed. It was after 4 months of not doing anything. Anyone experienced 4 months of having no result and not doing anything because you're just in freeze? That was me when I started. Until the moment I was like, fuck yep, let's go. And then I just, you know, played full out. And within that I attracted in Brooke March and Elena Nath, and you know, my first position actually grew through this other movement that was bigger than mine, you know. Yeah, so and I think, yeah, so that's my story. It's really given me a lot of learnings, like who I've become as a mother. Even back in that time, if there's emails that I sent to Christy that are like so dense with energy, like I was quite depressed. I come from traumatic background. I come from depression. You know, I still battle it sometimes, you know, every now and then the thoughts come in. I just look at it very differently. I come from a like outsider perspective rather than let it consume me. But it's, you know, it's still there, especially through hormones, full moons right now, last night. But yeah, it's like, okay, well, you know, I come with love and compassion for it versus trying to shift it, change it, force it, you know, and come from that graceful kind of feminine vibe. And then what I found for a couple of years is I fell really into the feminine, where I was so flow that I wouldn't even show up for my business a little bit. So there's this beautiful dance between recognizing these two energies, like the go energy and the like flow energy and the attraction energy. Like we work at as best as women being in attraction mode. However, it's super supportive for our business to fucking show up. So we do need to show up. So it's just playing between those two. So showing up in those moments that you're really fucking present, where you're going to, like right now, like being really present, like that's masculine, like holding that energy, like receiving the downloads, not, you know, like not being fluffy about it, like going, what can I get from this? Like, what do I want to get? Making notes, like being a part of this. After this call, going into your group chat and getting used to supporting others by putting energy into that chat about what you got out of this Like, get used to that being part of your life. Get used to making a post from this thing, you know, get used to going and sharing that whatever it is that you just break through in this conversation with someone, because that's the life of an entrepreneur that's in the inspirational space. And this is what we're doing. We're gifting out our knowledge of our own personal growth. And our solution is we're giving them a business to generate wealth through, grow their health through, grow their mind through, become the woman that they want to become. And so, yeah, I've become so much more than I ever, you know, thought that I could become in who I am as a woman and as a mother, as a facilitator, you know, as an entrepreneur. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's been a beautiful, incredible journey, and I highly recommend just, you know, stay the course, you know, that's it. You just got, it's only a matter of time that it all starts to unfold, right? So I know that you guys, I do really well in conversation too, by the way. So if you've got anything coming up, feel free to chat it in the chat and I can talk about it and address it. But I made some notes a little bit earlier just based on, so frequency. So I was going to talk about the consciousness funnel, which is Dr. David Hawkins, and it's about the different vibrations. So we all emulate a vibration. Does everyone understand that? Does anyone don't understand frequency and how it works? You know, like attracts like. These are all universal laws. Like these are, you know, there. Like attracts like. And sorry, I'm just catching up on some of the writings. So yeah, so in the frequencies, there are different frequencies that put out different vibrations. Now, gratitude, like, it sits around 600. Love is like 528 hertz. You might have heard about this. So these are all higher frequencies, and then down in the lower frequencies, you've got like scarcity and anger and shame, and none of them are bad unless you feel it, unless you make them bad. But you've just got to witness yourself and how you go about this like journey in the, because one can like take you up, and then sometimes you can go down and it can take you spiral down. It's like a tornado, like, you know how it spins like that. And when you're working on abundance lives between like 720 and 888, just depending on who you talk to. So it's up high, and peace is up there. So peace is before abundance. So if we can find peace, then we know we're just only moments away from really developing big levels of abundance. And peace comes in like the micro moments. It's like when like when I have negative thoughts come in that I still have no idea why. It's probably comes from my trauma, or an imbalance in my brain chemistry. I don't hate on it. I just love on it and give it compassion, but it's still there. But the thing is, how do I find peace with it? Because if I don't find peace with it, I'm always battling, I'm always resisting it, and then I'm creating more of it. And so I wonder if you guys are finding in your businesses or in your mindset, or that you're noticing and witnessing, oh shit, I'm always beating myself up about this one thing, or I'm shaming and guilting and doing those low vibrational things towards my own self, towards my own business, and putting myself in a negative spiral, rather than having compassion, you know, having love for it and being like, cool, it's just a moment. I get it. What, you know, like, so that's like the middle vibrations, is like this acceptance, this neutrality. And the stepping stones to those higher vibration is that courage and willingness to do something different, the courage and willingness to give yourself love, the courage and willingness to go and choose joy anyway, the courage and willingness to do something that you haven't done before. And that will just like, that boosts you up into those, you're like, well, so all right, I'm going to go through some of my notes. So you guys getting some takeaways? If you've got some takeaways, I'd love to put them in the thread for me. Energy in, energy out. Just seeing my notes from earlier. Yay, love that. Muscle testing, great. You can also test all your foods. You can test your water. You can, it's so good. So if you're meant to be eating something, you can actually just put it on your body and do a muscle test, which is really cool. Does anyone want to come out and ask me a question that might be something that like a prompt? Is there anything that's going on in someone's business that you're finding, that you're like witnessing about yourself, that you're like, oh shit, I think I've been attached to my laptop, thinking that I just need to be on my laptop, fully attached to the outcome, and I'm not putting out, like that's not going to serve me. And one way to break that is I'll tell you how one of my girls got her first sale. So she's from a PA background, very traditional business. Also, like, just, she's worked a lot in her life and done a lot of successful things in her life. So her energy was just like, she'd be on the laptop. She always listens to me, which I love, but she gets on the laptop. She's like sitting there and you can just see, like, she's like, okay, what are we doing? Like, how am I going to get this sale? Like, da, 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 da. And I'm like, bro, you gotta get off your laptop. I'm like, make a post, go to the fucking beach, and then like that's your day, all right? And that's how she got her first sale. She did her post, she went to the beach, she came home, and there was a fucking lead on her post. I said, that's the work we've got to really work with. So we can listen to Alex Striper, we can do the scripting, but unless we're embodying it in our day-to-day life, unless we're like going out and like I'm at this beautiful cafe, right? So I could walk into this cafe and think, fuck, I've got to do all this work and get on this call. Or I can walk into this cafe and be like, wow, I wonder what's here for me. Like, this is a beautiful cafe. I resonate with this cafe. I guess some of my soul tribe would resonate with this cafe. Who knows? I may actually meet my tribe right here. Or when I make a post from here, I may resonate this same frequency of this space that my soul tribe sister is going to find my post, because that's how attraction magnetism works. It's like attracts like. All right, Jen, I can see that you got your hand up. Awesome. You want to jump on?
Unmute. Okay, sorry, I couldn't find the button to unmute. I've just finished at the gym and I'm hiding in a park in the car while my parents have my kids. So I found that I really resonate with you saying, like, I had that almost desperation of like, I have to do this, I have to do that, and I was getting nothing. Like, I was feeling that real desperate need to make a sale, to talk to people, but not coming from a place of like good. And then I was like, there's never a part of me that wants to give up, but I was like, cool, I'm done for now. And then the next week I had 3 calls.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay. And that's the first time that I'm very new to like manifesting and asking for something that I want rather than having to do it. And so I've been dabbling in it a little bit. And that's the first time I've actually seen how it works and that it does work. Because not that I was never a believer, but I was like, okay, so now I'm just really trying. And like that, the frequency first thing is something I've been looking into. And yeah.
Yeah.
You don't realize.
Theory, right?
Yeah. And so now from those 3 calls, I'm learning how not to word vomit to people and how to use the automation of this business and not feel like I have to explain everything in one phone call.
All right, this is great, because this is something that I actually downloaded into my from the gods recently around that. So I feel that if you can learn to embody who the fuck you are, like full, wholeheartedly, unapologetically, that no matter what comes out of your mouth, if it's your soulmate tribe, they're going to get it. The difference between like when you're starting out is like, you don't know what to say. You've got all this scarcity, all this fear, all this shit, and all of a sudden you just blah, 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 But if you're like, I'm fucking certain about what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing, and you come from that, like, this is a lot of how I speak to a lot of people. It's like, yeah, I'm building this and this is what I'm doing, and I do it with so non-attached energy, like, want to come, like, want to do it, let's go. Want a webinar, cool. If not, whatever. But I'm so nonchalant about it, so many, in my approach personally. Other members in my team can be very, can be more direct, and you've got to work out what's your personality, like, who are you and how. And if you're so dialed in, I'm like, I'm a fucking badass at this, and this, I'm this, like starting to write a list, like put in the chat, like what's some things that you know about yourself, you know, like I'm soulful. Cool. Are you talking soulfully? You know, I'm an adventurer. Are you talking about it through an adventurer's eyes? I'm a mama bear, and I'm so, you know, I really believe that our kids should be, you know, free range or whatever, you know. Are you speaking it to, you know, speaking about it through that, like through that, or are you trying to explain it from like a whole nother version of you that that's not you, you know, and that's wigging you out when you go to explain it because you're like, trying to be business babe, or you're trying to be, you know, logical if you're not logical like me. I'm like not the numbers kind of go. I can be. I've learned to grow into that, but I do way better just being a free flow kind of woman, you know, right? So loved. I'm just gonna go to the chat, navigating this. Awesome. Did you have anything else to add, Jen? Sorry, interrupt you.
No, that's all good.
Yeah. So did you talk with your own words? Do you feel like I swear sometimes, and I use swear words when I talk to people.
I do. I swear like a sailor. And even my kids, my 3.5-year-old turned around, she dropped something, she went, "Oh, fuck's sake." I was like, yeah, maybe not. But I try. Do I try not to swear? I think I might do.
Yeah.
And I try not to, like, I just try and rein myself in a bit.
There you go. So you're not being your authentic expression. So
yeah,
then vibration. So you might have a match, right? It may be your soulmate person, and yet you're not being you're not being your full soul self. So then all of a sudden the frequency's out. So you've attracted each other, but then you're trying to be of something else. So then it's not resonating. Whereas if you start to learn, okay, and even writing down like sentences that you can use, I do this, and then like practicing on people so that it becomes easy for you to be yourself and say the words at the same time, right? Because if you haven't said the words before, it's like learning a new language. You're not going to be just like yourself in saying it's like je m'appelle Alana, you know. Now I can be like je m'appelle Alana, you know, like because I've learned it a few times. Je m'appelle Alana, you know, when I say it, like when someone asks, you know, when someone says French, because I've learned that sentence in French so many times. Now I can put my own essence to it, you know. So it's like, what are some of the key answers to what we do in the space that keeps it short, keeps it sharp, keeps it you know, keeps it in alignment to what you love, who you are, why you're doing it. Like put your vision in there. Like I do this because I love fucking freedom. Like it's my highest value. That, you know, when I speak to people, I go, I don't really speak about the water as much. I am now starting to come through with more about the water because I'm learning about water manifestation, and I love quantum leaps. And like when you start to learn about how powerful water is, that it holds memory and that you can actually utilize it to manifest your reality and your life. After having this deep moment with water, I realized, oh shit, the essence of water is working through me. So the element of water is working through me already because of drinking drinking Kangen water. And so I feel like the consciousness of water has already got some bigger mission for all of us. And water resembles abundance. Water resembles flow. Water resembles these things already. And it also holds memory. It responds to how we think. It responds to what we say. And so, you know, if we can, you know, utilize, so now in my branding, I may be bringing it a little bit more in, but my branding has always been about being free. Like I'm a freedom advocate, or like I love adventure. It's, you know, and last year it went really dialed into being more about business. And, you know, I put my leadership pants on last year. That was my intention for 2023 was leadership. How can I become embodied in being a leader? Because for many years I kind of resisted it. I freaked out about it. You know, I didn't want the responsibility of others. And then I let a lot of people down, I'm going to say, because I was afraid to be my own leader. I was afraid to hold my team. And now last year, you know, that was my word for the year. I was like, I'm going to fucking be a badass leader. I'm going to show up. I'm going to bring in some of my masculine into my business to be my leader. That's when I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to bring it in to be like, yep, let's do this. Let's make that happen. And then in the moments that I'm not needed, I go back into my feminine attraction mode so that I can be walking around the earth, you know, out in life, and magical moments can happen in any moment, you know, like it could be like on my, because I'm so embodied in my presence and enjoying the moments and, you know, looking at the wonderful trees and just like knowing I'm an attraction magnet and enjoying my daughter and appreciating things and watching my words and manifesting at any given moment. If I'm holding water or I see water, I speak to it, I talk to the trees. You know, if I notice that I have a negative thought come through, I'm like, cool, let's change it. And I do like a gratitude rant or a, you know, I'm just daily monitoring myself, but from this playful essence of femininity. And I go on these beautiful, wonderful adventures. And I sometimes meet my people in real life, and then sometimes because I'm just enjoying and on such a fucking vibe, I'll go to my phone and all of a sudden I have just these random people messaging me that I'm like, where the hell do these people come from? I have no fucking idea, but I know why they're there. It's because my essence is being in life. It's been playful. It's being in attraction mode. So I really program my brain a lot of the time, like my mindset, my unconscious mind. You know, I'm attracting in this moment. I'm attracting in this moment, you know, every moment. If I start to feel like, oh, fuck, I should be doing something else, I'm like, no, I'm attracting in this moment. I can attract from my fucking bed. I'm attracting from, you know, kicking back. I'm attracting. And then I use my masculine to show up, to get the information, to up level myself, to, you know, go and do the trainings, to be a part of a masterclass, to do the 90-day container, things like that. That's where I bring my masculine energy. I'm like, all right, let's do that. Let's do it. You know, let's grow. And then back into that feminine essence of like life's playful, life's magic. You know, it's all just coming to you. It's coming to you in every moment. It's coming to you right now. Like it exists out there. It's already there. Your soul people are there. Like there's so many incredible human beings like out there that think and feel and want to be a part of something like this. Like, you know, more so now than ever, like everyone's like waking up to the light, you know, this, you know, this community, what community means. It's so beautiful to have each other. And so like, are you actually allowing yourself to open up to connection? Are you allowing yourself to open up to having new friendships? Because that's what your team is. Your team is you getting vulnerable. Your team is you, you know, becoming, you know, okay with deep connection and meeting and seeing other people's souls and listening to them versus you talking to, you know, about you all the time. It's like, oh, what can I learn from them? What do they have? What magic is there? And discovering and exploring that, and then offering a little bit of your essence when it, you know, it's called as well about what you do. And that's, and then it just grows, right? Because there, so yeah, love, you know, so can we embody that in an exploration of life, like going to a cafe and just sitting there for a few hours and just seeing if there's people that you're like, hey, how are you? Just like being a good human, like, you know, and just practicing being open to seeing what's possible, opening your heart to receiving. I sat with this man at a bookshop the other day. He was incredible, a 90-something-year-old man. And I just sat there with full presence, like, tell me what you know, what have you learned? Like, what's, you know, he told me all these incredible stories, and it was so nourishing. And it was so, felt so right, you know, to respect an elder, to listen to an elder, to be there and receive whatever he has to gift, and also to be mindful that I have also control of my own thoughts, and sometimes that some of his beliefs won't be mine. But it was nice to inquire and be there and receive what gifts he had for me. And I cried. Like I cried. He touched my heart, and it gave me a gift of like some beautiful things because I was open to receiving it. And that's the same with your soulmate tribe, like the community that you're about to build. It's not just about a sale. This is your life partnerships. This is a family. This is us for life, like together on this journey, because when you come into this business, there's no, like, you would never leave this business. It would be really, really silly and stupid to leave this business, because it's got a legacy plan. It's a lifetime residual plan. And all you have to do is take a stepping stone each and every day, or whenever you've got that opportunity to move. You might take 10, you might take 20 new stepping stones, and it grows forward. So it becomes part of a partnership with you. It's a partnership for life, because it's going to create so much in your life over your whole life. Like you just wouldn't disconnect from it as a business woman and an entrepreneur. With all my other passion projects and other businesses, this is something that you will always have solid as a partnership in your business model, in your financial blueprint, in the makeup of business, because it's just smart, right? It's smart to have. It's going to teach you a lot of things, and it's going to grow you as an entrepreneur, and it's also going to grow your wealth. And one day you'll be sitting there. This year I really am excited to celebrate my 602-3. So at some stage that's going to happen for you. You're going to look back and you'll be like, I didn't even know I was going to this position. We didn't know about it when we started. There was no map of where we were going. Now it gets talked about more. Now it gets put into the unconscious mind more. Now you're actually getting programmed quicker and faster than we've ever been before about where you're going. So that means that it's going to happen at some stage, right? It's just, you're just going through the journey of getting there. And you're going to have to go through these different levels of yourself to get there. So we didn't know where we were going, but all I was committed to was constantly breaking the glass ceiling that was attached to me from limitations or negative self-beliefs. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the next one? Okay, the next one is, so the first one was the $10,000. Like, how can I get my unconscious mind on board to be programmed that is normal? And so, building your belief, being on the trainings, seeing the other, witnessing the other people that are having those successes, but also like wholeheartedly programming it in your belief system for yourself, like I am that. I'll just be like, I haven't had 100K months, but I say that a lot to myself, like I say it to the water. I am 100K months right now, in this moment, and forever. And, and I know that it's only a matter of time. Like, I don't give a fuck when it is. I'm just totally stoked it's going to happen at some stage, because that's how it works. So it's like getting excited that this is just a playground. This is something to have fun with. It is a business, but it's also like life is a playground. Life is a blank canvas to play with. It's not, it doesn't need to be super serious. And actually, it actually works better when it's not super serious. The people that are having the most fun are making the most money. We hear that all the time. So how can we have fun? How can we go and just fucking be crazy and wild and do something that we've never done before, maybe because we've been playing it safe in our own little bubble, to actually crack through the ceiling of another version of us? And you'll find that along the whole journey. So last year I did podcasts. I thought that it was going to be, I was like, yeah, this would be cool. Whoa. Wow. That was scary. It was really challenging. It was a lot. My frequency, like my physical form, had a fully moments. Like, I was sitting there having to speak, gift out knowledge. All my insecurities came up, my anxieties came up. It was intense because I was breaking through a ceiling that I had never done before. And I didn't realize, that it was going to be like that for me. It was the wormhole. I was like, whoa, shit, I'm in the fucking wormhole. This is tight. This feels uncomfortable. This feels scary. This feels like expansive, like how do I get off? But I'm already on, like, what am I doing? And it just took a couple of weeks to integrate right into that new version of me that I could do podcasting and it'd be fine and I wouldn't die. But that, you know, these happen throughout the journey, and then reflected. Like I was scared that what I was saying wasn't going to inspire people. You know, these are real thoughts that came up because it was quite a big deal. And I knew I was in the wormhole, and so just kept like, yeah, embracing it. And until it was just like, neutral, you know, back to neutral. I was like, oh yeah, not a big deal, don't care. Like, and then also I was getting random people that had been listening to my podcast, like had like binged listened to my podcast, be like, you know, old men dates from years ago, like hot men. Like sending me, and I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Okay, cool. I'm glad you liked it. Like people from my school, like people, just like random people that, you know, not only from my community, but from like random people that just found my podcast and just were like, fuck yes, and like binge watched it, binge listened to it. And you know, really stoked about it. And I was like, oh, cool. That's the gift of me stepping up and going through, you know, is that other people outside of this business are also having up level their consciousness through my podcasts, you know, and that's gift. That's awesome. Like, yeah, sharing those gifts. All right. Gabs, do you have anything you want me to add? Anyone else want me to add anything? Feel free.
I can say something. I missed the main of your talk because my power got turned off due to some electrical work being done. I'm not really sure what direction it went. But I can say that I felt I was in really high vibe with everything. And after I did the 90 days, I just shut down. I turned everything off and said, I'm not touching this for so long. And I did. I didn't do anything towards the business. I mean, my socials kept growing and my engagement kept growing, and I really focused on what was making me and my whole new life, and loving what I was doing with myself. And I'm sort of at the point right now where I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice if I don't get back into this vibe and this, you know, thing that I believe in. But I'm right now sitting here, I'm like, oh my God, where do I start? Like, now I look like an idiot. I've done all that, and then I didn't do anything, and now I'm ready to come back.
Why do you feel like you look like an idiot for?
Oh, I don't know. Just I guess because I left it alone.
So like
I had a break. I can honor that. And
yeah. So there's seasons, and I do breaks. Yeah. I'm a projector, so I actually have breaks all the fucking time. And now that I've learned that, I'm so like love it, and I think everyone actually should have breaks. It should be just natural. But breaks is in like if you can do them on the micro, like going and spending time with yourself every day, you know, then you won't have to do those. Oh, sorry. Are you guys there? Sorry about that. Are you guys there? Good. Had someone call me. Can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you.
Yeah, so if you can do it on the micro, you can nourish yourself a bit better so that you can work long term, if that makes sense. So it's like if you start to do everything on the micro, like you start to like even just like gratitude at the dinner table with your family, like what's your highlights, what's your gratitudes, like if you know, start to implement small tiny little tasks for yourself. Like this morning I'm like, Alia, what's your intention for the day, you know? And I taught it, you know, like what's your intention, you know, I like these prompts for my kid, but for myself to do it, to start to implement on the micro, because if I can get it on the micro rather than doing it in chunks, it's just going to be an easier journey. So the nourishment, like I have someone that's brand new in the business as well, that's in that like hustle mode and constantly calling me, and the 90-day was a hustle mode, right? So it was a masculine hustle mode. That's what hustle feels like. And you really need to be prepared for it. And it's super serving. for you to do, because it can activate you right into your leadership to show up, to create new habits. But then you also have to know, hey, wow, this is a season that's going to be challenging. That's going to be hard. So I've got to also, you know, really monitor on the other side where I've got to be self-responsible for me to nourish. Like yesterday, I did a masterclass for a retreat that we're doing, and I felt really like after it, I was like, I'm maxed. Like I'm so maxed. So that I could be nourished for this, I literally turned my phone off the rest of the day, just let everyone know, gone into nature. And I just went into nature and I just said, I just made peace with, like, that's me. I'm like, it's a Wednesday. I don't need to be on anything. Like, I don't need to work. And I did a couple of extra working things that came up, you know, that didn't take my energy too much later on in the night. But I allowed myself that nourishment time so that I could be fucking refreshed, because you know, I've learned myself. I've learned that it's a balance, and that the only person that's in control of that balance is me. And then I can come back and be like, yeah, hey guys, you know, give you my energy. But the same for like showing up for posts. There's going to be days, like some days when I'm a parent, especially because I do 7 on 7 off. I find it a lot more challenging to create content, especially like, so I don't, that only happens when I'm in the moment thinking about, oh, wow, that would be creative. So my daughter did a visualization for me the other night, so I put that up. And then when she's not with me, it's usually when you'll get like like a shitload more of my posts. So it's like just monitoring, like there's different seasons, and that 90-day is a very big up-leveling season, right? And it has its purpose, but it was very masculine. So yes, celebrating you for taking time out and nourishing yourself to get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm ready. However, what you can do is reflect on that in a way more positive way, in a way more serving way. I wouldn't say positive way, a way more serving way that's going to help you for the next season. So looking back and even making a list today for yourself of why you're grateful you took some space for yourself, why you're grateful you did the 90 days container, what it is that you love about yourself for doing that, what it is that you love about this business that you can absolutely do that if you need to do that, you know. And so start to really, because they're going to cover those, you know, those things that you're talking about of, you know, what you want to get that energy back, you want to get that fire back, you want to get that you know, excitement for it. So then, and the belief, so you got to go back into those areas and go and change the programming that's being projected out about it, and nourish yourself with your own words, your own gratitude, your own thoughts, and be like, no, I'm going to get a new perspective about this. I'm so grateful I did the 90 days because of this, this, and this. And I'm so grateful I took a rest season because of this and this. I'm proud of myself for doing that because of this and this and this. And then you're all of a sudden you'll just feel nourished. You'll feel vibrant. You'll feel loved. You'll have compassion. Yourself, your little self, your big self, whoever, you know, in there is going to be like, yeah, you're badass. Cool. I love this business because it can do this. And then you'll be like, I'm badass. All right, I'm going to use that to inspire me to make content now, or to go and speak with people. I feel nourished now because I've nourished myself with my own shift of thoughts and vibration and gratitude around my experience. And so when you see things in your business that, you know, that you're like, so right now I've got these people that have gone into the discovery process and they haven't fucking done it. Like, what the hell? It's so crazy. So I'm like, all right, well, I need to shift and change myself, my thoughts, my manifestation, so that can be different. And so I start putting it into my gratitudes. I start talking it into my water. Like, people complete their discovery process in 48 hours. And after some time, that's what quantum tools are all about. After some time, you'll start to see that because that's what you believe. So and sometimes it'll happen instantly, and sometimes it takes a little while, but you've got to be committed to shifting and changing the perspective and rewiring and, you know, coming home to, you know, making a new reality for yourself. I'm just going to go to these notes when I'm highly focused. Okay, so that's not nourishment. How do we feel about that, Chrissy? How do you feel about that? What do you say to yourself when you haven't drunk water, you haven't eaten food, you've done nothing else, you've sat there all day. How are you feeling after it? Oh, the sound. Maybe you can put it in the
Yeah, just trying to unmute. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like I don't notice until the end of the day, and I'm like completely parched, starving, but I've smashed out, a whole heap of work, but tend to, feel a bit depleted by the end of it. So it's just finding that balance of just having those breaks in the day. What I was saying is like I'm trying to use the times where I'm feeling really inspired and motivated to like get out there and live life and be present, to create the content, and then those hyper focused moments to just sit down and like use that to turn that content, like to create that content, if that makes sense. So yeah.
When you're creating the content, do you feel like you're at your peak vibration for it to go out in those moments?
Yeah, definitely. But I'm like very, like when I'm in that mode, it's like boom, 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 and it's all coming out. And then the other times where I'm like super present and just like really disengaged, it's like I'm not in that creative mode. I'm in that present, just being mode, and I'm not putting anything out because I don't actually feel like being on my social media. I don't feel like thinking about the business. So
projector.
Do you know, I'm not 100% sure what I am, if I'm really honest.
No,
I think I'm more of like yeah.
Well, it's just about how you feel about it, and if you feel nourished about it, if you feel
good.
like
I think I just want to find a way to balance it out.
Yeah, if it's working for you, stay doing it. If you're not getting any results, you're not seeing any results, maybe it's time to test and trial a new version of yourself that sits and nourishes themselves through the day, and then gets on the laptop and then nourishes themselves, and then they're out in the creative world, and while they're out in the creative world, they're like, wow, I just had this incredible light bulb moment that is so, when you're out in nature and you're like, you switched off and you're like, you discover something and you have this epiphany that's so life-changing that you're like, oh, and you could just quickly make a note and then write about it later, or in that moment make a 5-minute post. Like the posts don't need, like some of my posts are written in 30 seconds, and then I'm just like, boost, bye, out, pump, ooh, me on the, so, in those moments, maybe just playing with different versions of life, because when you're out in the world, you always get these like moments of like, you're like, oh, discovery of something. And that moment, that inspiration that you get is also probably really life-changing for someone else, because it doesn't always have to be business, right, on your socials. It's just about inspiring. We're actually in an inspiration game. We're here to inspire others. So imagine we just get like, there's this beautiful tree and it's just an inspiring aha that you've got takeaway thing. Anyway, and nourishing yourself with water, because that's the whole point. You're working with water, you're partnered with water. The vibration of water is powerful and potent, and it's going to serve you to be really mindful of your water content, to like, know, hey bro, I'm working with you, like
yeah, that's why it makes me laugh, because at the end of the day I'm like, hang on a minute, I'm being a complete contradiction to what I'm putting out there right now. Not always, but some days, and then I realize. So yeah,
so just creating new little like habits of like a little alarm going off, and it's like, have a break, and you're like, damn it, okay, and then you have to look at how to have a break, because honestly you're probably so programmed to do it that way that you haven't learned how to actually just sit down and have a 5-minute like meditation break.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just us versus us, this game. Like it's you coming against you, like all the conditionings and the parts of you that you haven't explored yet, and it's like, all right, well, am I willing to try a different version of myself? And sometimes you'll try a different version of yourself and be like, nah, that's completely not me, right? Like it's like that worked. And sometimes you've got to trial that position, like with the podcasting, right? I could have run straight away. I could have been like, this isn't me, it fucking feels horrible, I'm burnt out, all of these things, it's too much. And just like not waited for myself to, my physical form to regulate into that being fine, and then now that's fine, now it's not so big deal. But so sometimes it's a spaciousness as well. Like when you're testing out new sentences and words, you're not just going to naturally flip it out of the tongue, authentically right away. So that's why I practice on strangers and people. I test and trial different answers on people outside all the time, just to see how it sounds coming out of my voice, out of my mouth. And it's the same as you start to do master classes and things like that. You're not going to be so used to some of the terminologies or, the way to say things. And sometimes what I've done in the past is like go and look at, people that I really truly inspire, like resonate with, and I look at how they speak and I listen to their words and I write it down, because that is really helpful. Because I'm like, okay, so they said it this way. So they said it in a way that I really loved and I really resonated with. What if I could just learn how to say that same way and then make that my normal so that it feels good? And I do that with a lot of content. I hear it and then I repeat it. I rinse and repeat to people, and especially like about like new things like the water. Like I've loved that water huddle the other day. We haven't done many water huddles over the last 5 years. That one was epic. And it was just like, so I rinsed and repeated some of the terminology so that I can actually make that normal. Like so even now I'm like blood-brain barrier. I'm like trying to practice that because I want to learn how to say that. I want to be fluent in understanding like how fucking epic our water is. So if it ever comes up, I know how to say it. So just like, use that terminology with as many people that I in my sphere that want to listen to me about it, for people that I love, that I can talk about it. Like you can practice it with each other, and so that it becomes my normal and I can say it. But if I mess it up, I'm like, look, I don't, I'm not no science person, but man, I'm really passionate about this, So yeah, anyway, I can go on for ages. 4 months is fine. You could do 2 years off and still come back. Yeah, that's right, 100%. Anything else in here? Yes, lots of grace. So if you're finding there's one belief that's coming up for you, so Gabs, can we share your story at the start? So I did this call with Gabs. I think it was because I was helping people write content at the time or something like that. Anyway, Gabs gets on a call with me and she shares with me, we start talking about what's going on, and she was feeling really unsupported. Does anyone feel that way? Probably not in this collective because you got each other and this is an incredible support network, but maybe you could have this story playing out as well, feeling unsupported. And I remember those words. And I was like, okay. And she said, I just got my house built and there was a few things going on at the time. I said, oh, okay, so who supported you to buy that, to build the house? And she's like, oh, I had some laborers. And I started to show her these, like a new perspective of like, okay, well, who is supporting you? Like, where is that showing up in, and where can you see it? I said, oh, how's this call going for you? Does it feel supportive? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, okay. So it's sometimes we're playing out this belief. One of my girls at the moment has a belief around not being welcomed or something like that, always being rejected. Actually, that was the thing. So it's like, so the opposite of that is like, how can I be welcomed more? How can I be, received well more? And so I was like, so where are you being, I asked questions, where are you being received well? Like, you're on this beautiful call with me, like I'm welcoming you, my tribe's welcoming you. What else is there? Like, who else is there? I mean, you just did an event. I did an event with her in a studio, a yoga studio. I said, they just welcomed you. They just gave you a beautiful fucking studio to run an event in. Like, let's switch that that belief up. So put in the chat if you feel like there's something that you've recognized, that there's a belief that you want to rewrite. Like you're like, and this is something for single women. It's the same with men. If we're talking about men are terrible and, that they're terrible and bad, well, we're only going to see terrible and bad, right? So to switch that up, we have to start to go, oh, where do I see a good man, And then when you start to recognize like, wow, that man just gave that woman a bunch of flowers. That's amazing. That's a great man right there. Or my stepdad, oh, he gives my, he shows up for my mum so well. And, and so when I started to acknowledge, all this the beautifulness of men showing up for women and all of that, then of course I started to have more masculines in my life to show up for me and to support me in different ways. And so again, in your business, if you go down to a business element, like what is it that you're telling yourself that you're experiencing, and what would you like to shift it? Like what's the shift, and how can we start to see it? So if people aren't responding to you well on your social media, if that's the story, because or the story is no one reaches out to me, well, where are they reaching out to you? Who's oh, actually Gabs just messaged me, she reaches out to me, the two Gabs. Or actually someone reached out to me the other day and told me that I inspired them with the content, so people are reaching out to me. Oh, and you start to acknowledge the parts where it is happening, and so then it will start to amplify more. So what do we got in the chat? I'll go to that question in a moment. We can use those breaks. Did anyone put in the chat what beliefs they want to rewrite? The more orgasms you have, the more money you make. Yes.
So is it okay if I just speak? Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I think she is frozen.
Ah, oh, she is. She's very smiley.
Yeah, she's just holding that smile. Yeah, let's give her a moment and see if she can come back online. Did you want to say something back?
Yeah, I was going to speak into that whole belief thing that she was asking about, just because when I was doing my meditation this morning, this little belief just kind of popped up. I had to kind of follow a trail to get to the belief. It was kind of like a thought and then an emotion, and then what's the belief behind that? And that was that good things don't happen to me or for me, which I could see was not entirely true. Yeah. So I just took that into my meditation.
Yeah, so actually recognizing it is the hardest part, hey, because it becomes constilled and becomes so normal in your brain that you just think that on the daily, that to actually recognize it is huge.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at your situation objectively instead of just being in the thick of it all the time. So I think just even recognizing that is so big. Now you got to change it and recognize it. They're going to come to you, and they do come to you. It's just recognizing them. And you got a whole lot of good that's about to come.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you do. Does anyone else want to say something? I think this has been freaking awesome. Monya, best moments to manifest. I heard if you're in a super, super high frequency. Yeah. So I have Alex Tripod's frequency chart in our kitchen. So she has, the frequency number, like love is the highest. And then she's got she names from love, gratitude, and then it goes into your middle frequency, and then your low frequencies and it's so funny because I have naturally manifested since I was younger. I didn't really know about Joe Dispenza, all these things that you could do, but was naturally calling in things in my life, when I was a teenager and things. And then it wasn't till, I lost my dad. I was in guilt all the time. I was in fear. I was in depression. And Alex Tripod's chart is literally got all of that at the bottom and these low frequencies. And I had said to my partner, I haven't been able to manifest for years. I've been calling in all these things, and I'm like, I've lost like my touch. Like, I don't know what's happened. It's literally because I was living in that. So now that I'm slowly crawling my way up the chart, like the manifestation starts to come in. So it's really cool you said that. Alana's back. We lost you.
My phone's being the connector to the internet, and because it was sitting in the sun, it overheated.
Damn. That's because you're on fire, girlfriend.
So yeah.
So we just had an epic check. So Beck actually came out and said that she recognized this morning that nothing good ever comes to her. So she was doing a meditation. And Beck, do you want to come out and and chat?
Sure. I was just palming my son off again. Yeah, I was just saying that this morning, as I was sinking into my meditation, I had some thought come into my mind and then felt the emotion behind it, and then kind of followed it down a bit to the belief that underlied that. And that was that good things don't happen to me or for me or something like that. But yeah, good things don't come to me, which I recognized was not actually true, because there's lots of good things that happen to me or in my life. But I have noticed stepping into this space and stepping into any kind of space like this or any kind of business like this, it's always, there's that thought in the back of my head that says, well, it can't happen to you or for you because other people have got something better or more special about them, or there's some reason why other people get the good things that they get and you don't get things that are as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I definitely feel you on that, because, you know, I've never felt intelligent back in the day, you know. I always thought everyone hated me. I actually didn't enjoy actually being, you know, in group settings. I actually thought everyone was going to get annoyed with me at some stage and hate me. And even to this day, there are moments where my friends love me and they continuously love me, and I think, how do they continuously love me? You know, like, that's the feeling that's there, because that's been programmed from such a long time ago of not, like, yeah, I always think someone's going to turn on me, or, you know, like, you know, like, I'm like, and I'm like, what? They still love me? And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, this is so weird. You need to start to regulate this into your body, Elena. Like, this needs to be okay. Like, people can love you consistently all the time. You know, it doesn't need to be this disjointed, like, realization that when you wake up in the morning and you're living with your friends at this time. I remember waking up living with my friends and being like, thinking that they're going to be upset with me, and then they're just like totally loving on me still, and I'm like, this is so weird, you know, like, and it's such a, and it's a way that, you know, I got to look at myself and be like, wow, okay, that exists on a deep level, and I, you know, and I need to regulate this and make this my normal. Like, yes, people are going to continuously love you. You're not going to be, you know, ostracized all of a sudden out of, you know, this experience of love. So yes, and so the simplest actionable steps that I can give you for this is to rewrite it and to start to witness in each day, oh, there's something that's good that's happened. So with my daughter, again, I do a lot of stuff with my daughter these days. You know, she'll manifest like a free, I don't know, something, you know, like maybe a free hot chocolate, or she got a book the other day and instead of it being $7, it was $2. And so I'll be like, let's celebrate, you know, like, you know, so we acknowledge the wins, like we acknowledge the wins. And I'm utilizing the opportunity to support her to learn that early, but it's also supporting me to be accountable for the wins as well. It's like, all right, we're gonna do it. She goes, Mom, I go, do a dance. And she's like, Mom, I don't dance. You do the dance when we win. I'm like, all right, I'll do the dance. I'm like in this cafe, like, yoo-hoo, we got a $2 book. We got a $2 book, you know. But yeah, like, I just want her to see like this. And I started to talk to her on a deeper level about this morning, because we looked into this Dr. Emoto's work on the crystallization of forms of water. And I was telling her about it, and I said, you know, when Mummy asks you these questions around like, what's your intention, or we do gratitude practices, or we celebrate, like, I actually have a purpose of it. Like, I want you to learn now things that I had to learn like later on, like I'm figuring it out now. But if you learn that now, Ali, you're gonna like superpower charge through things. Like, you're gonna know things, you know, and things will shift. You'll be much healthier and happier and more abundant, and have the, you know, so it's like a cheat sheet. I'm like, I'm giving you the cheat sheet. Like, learn it now. Like, come on. And so today it was really beautiful to go on to another level of it by, you know, witnessing like Dr. Emoto's work. We watched it in like a 4-minute little format of where it talks about thoughts and, you know, and feelings, and how that interrupts, and music, and how it changes the crystallization of water and things like that. And so she's starting to get it, because she could see it in a more like prettier form for her to understand. And it's like she's starting to get it. It's like these all are intentional things. Like we are actually, when we're sharing this with you, like it's not like just some fluffy like thing to do. Like this has purpose. Like this has magical quantum leap purpose in your life, for you to like make it like so much easier, right? To make things happen in a more easier way. So like when you're waking up, like what's my intention? I want to, today I'm gonna, be an attraction magnet. I'm gonna fucking enjoy my life. I'm, whatever you want, like just stop programming it, because it will take time depending on where you're at in your journey, on how conditioned it is for it to rewrite. So like sometimes things will be instant manifestation. Sometimes the synchronicities will happen. You'll start getting the soul bumps straight away. You'll start, you'll have the tears of breakthroughs, like just now, that moment, and even through this call, I've had some of those myself. Like they'll happen right away. And other times it's like me getting to 100K mark, it's going to take a little bit of time for my brain to to unconsciously put that in there. Like it's, but I know it will happen. And quantumly it's happening. It's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like it's already possible. We know it's possible. It happens in the community every day, but it's about how much we can embody that to be possible for us first. And then it all just starts to transpire and transform, and and it looks completely different to how you expected it to look. And that's like coming from that, again, attach mode to, like releasing this need and attachment, and allowing it to be more playful, allowing it more be like fun and vibrant, and being like, this is what's here. Like fun and vibrancy is here, not codependency. That's codependent energy, is like attachment is like, I need you. It's like, run the other way. It's like we want to remind them, through our own growth, our own expression, our own discovery of self, our own playfulness, that this is what's here. It's like, wow, we are learning how to really enjoy our life and expand, whilst also having this incredible business. But it's only as a result of us and our growth and our acknowledgement to what we've, like, again, with Gabs down the bottom here, on the screen, Dalpeo, that going from feeling totally not supported to recognizing where support was. We started to do calls like this, but I did them at 6:15 a.m. in the morning, and Gabs would get up at 4:15 a.m. in the morning and bring her team, and we would collaborate and do some fun things. Like we created really fun things, didn't we? And we did some 5-day challenges, and we didn't know what we're doing. We're just having fun. We're just being playful with it. We were leading ourselves, but we're also creating leaders. Like we're inviting leadership by coming in and be like, you want to run something? Like, do you want to play with something? Like, what's your gifts? What do you want to teach on? Like, let's do some playful stuff. And then you had your $50,000 month 5 months later. Like, so this is what can transform, is when you do these beautiful, jump on and share.
It's so funny. It really takes me back to 2020 when we were doing these calls at 4 a.m. my time. And I was so committed. But in this time as well, like I was going through a lot. And as Alana said, my story and my programming was that I'm doing it alone and I'm unsupported, and it was showing up in all areas of my life. So single mothering and living in a town with no family and all the things. And I lost my upline, and it was just everywhere. It was so present. And I remember coming to Alana because I resonated with her so deeply. We're both single mamas. And I was like, this is where I'm at. And Alana took me under her wing, and she just was like, come join my group chats. Just come be here and be present. And I did. I committed to that every morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. I think, Alana, you were 4A and I was 2A in the business. About that.
Probably.
We were pretty close, but Alana started before me. So I was just like, look at this single mum. I just thought she was amazing and I just needed, love and support. But what happened in that moment of feeling welcomed and feeling supported, it shifted in my body. That story shifted and my body's shaking. It's like I'm having like almost reliving it, and it's purging from my body. So my voice is a bit shaky and a bit emotional. But what happened physiologically in my body, it shifted radically in my thought patterns, in the way I showed up, in my actions and my beliefs. And from there, there was other things that happened in my world. I was doing a lot of inner work. I went to Bali and did my breathwork facilitators training, went to Freedom Fest, met Alana, and we hung out, and it was crazy and wild in 2020. And then from there, it was like the first 6 months, I had one fucking sale in 6 months. The next 6 months, 10K, 20K, 50K, boom, 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 because of the physiological response, because I shifted the belief, but not just shifted the belief. It was that change within my body. I felt it. It was a feeling. It wasn't just a mindset shift. It was a feeling within my body that it wasn't true anymore. And then my life radically shifted. So it's super interesting. And I'm always forever grateful for Alana, because if that didn't happen in that moment, I'm not sure how that would have shifted without someone opening up their arms to say, I've got you. Come join us for a little while until you find your own feet. So I love you, babe. So grateful for you.
And that brings me to my last little gift. I feel that's been a thread for this week for me, is this thing that keeps popping up is like people are joining this business and they're not having the support, right? And you have the opportunity to be someone's support network and also build a fuck off community. Like that's what you want to do. That when you say I want sales, you're saying I want to support people. I want to build a community. I want to, be a leader. That's what you're ultimately saying, because that's what's going to transpire for you. So if you need to, so if you've got to do that for yourself, right? And start to embody that with everyone that you meet, like with each other. And so that's something that I've always done anyway, is that my heart is always open. I still have people that pop into my chats that aren't in my team that need support. And it's because that's just who I am as an individual being, because I have compassion, so much so because I built it for myself. Firstly, I built that compassion for myself. And I recognized like I was broken and I had trauma and I struggled and I, had all these limiting beliefs, and I was that. And so when I see it now with my love, like my team, my tribe, I'm not like shame or blame or game, or you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, compassion, and let's do this together. Let's create this together. Especially if there's something that is also going to serve me by creating it with them, because it's going to help them grow. It's going to help them expand, and it's going to help me expand and grow with them. I'll do it with them, right? Otherwise, there's things where I'm like, guys, you can just go out and create a new list like right now. And so I got one of my girls to go do that, like go and change the story, do the list. And I create leaders. Leaders create leaders. And that means for me, I really want to bring this into the collective a bit more, is leaders create leaders. Yes, you can be like, it's in the TFE, it's over there. But it's like, what creative ideas do we have, like that we know that's in TFE or that we've heard through other leadership? Or let's do something accountability together to grow through this challenge that's come up, whoever we're leading in that moment. What can we do as a collective to grow and become leaders of our own self first? And so that way then we know how to do that for others, right? So whether you've had sales or not, like this is something you can implement right away, is like, okay, cool. I'm going to lead myself this week and do this task that Alana has said, or I'm going to lead myself and do the task that was requested on the huddle, or, you know, or any of the Gabs have shared with me. And also get used to like creating something for someone else, like gifting. I give out so much outside of Enagic as well in regards to tools. Like if people are welcoming me for questioning me on something, or I'll just share, oh my gosh, I just did this gratitude practice. It was epic. When I first started out, I would share it on my content for people to do at home. So like go away and say, you know, what you learned, and then the task, and someone that's reading that might need that to go and do that for themselves. That's what this business is about, is like gifting the experience, gifting the inspiration, gifting the knowledge of growth. And as we do that for ourselves and we share that on our you know, on our Facebooks or whatever, on Instagrams, and we give that, you know, we give that freely to them. We're gifting this vibration of like transformation and energy upgrades through what our own experience is. Like the people that are watching are getting inspired and shifting and changing, and their own vibrational shifts are happening, and their aha moments are happening. And at some stage they will come to and be like, wow, you changed me. You know, I want to know what you're doing, or that really shifted me, and that's all that matters, you know. And it doesn't matter if they join your business or not, but you've like saved somebody's life. My whole life is based, you know, basically on, because I had a love commit suicide at 24, and I had depression, like deep, dark thoughts of depression, like hecticness for a really long time of my life. So I always seeked joy, like a community where I didn't know I was looking for a community, mind you, but I was looking for a place where I could be loved. I was looking for a place that I'm like, I'm sure there's somewhere out there that I can be happy, you know, like, and it'd be normal. Like, why can't we just be happy and be normal? Like, it felt like I was getting shamed and guilt and all this shit everywhere else I was going, and everything was hard and blah, blah, blah. That was back in the day. And so I started to travel the world and, like, you know, seek out adventure, seek out happiness, seek out fun. And I did that a lot in the external world for a lot, and it's good. I'm not lying. Externally doing fun shit is fucking transformational for your internal world as well. But at some stage I had to be married with the internal world as well. And eventually it led me to this community, and I was like, oh my God, it does exist. Like, you know, this is a space for you to be able to like be supported and loved on and cared about. And, you know, and to be happy, and that be fucking normal. Make that your normal every day. Like, you know, and yes, I still have some thoughts that pop in my head, but they're not ones that are taking me out. They're not ones that are, you know, they're there. I witness them. I you know, so I'm still going to acknowledge that. So I'm not going to like pretend like I'm some just 90, like 100% positive, but the way that I reflect on them is so different. It's like I'm like, oh, witnessing, rather. I'm sitting on the back end rather than it be like consuming. This is life now. That's how it is. I'm fucking depressed. My business is shit, you know, like all that thing. Like that doesn't happen. So it's just like, oh yeah, cool. How long's that going to last, you know? Or how long am I willing for it to last? Sometimes I ask myself as well. Am I okay with taking a day out? Yep, cool. I'll take a day out. Till I feel like I'm regulated back online and I can do this, you know? So you just learn yourself so that you can enjoy this journey. So yeah. So soulmate clients are out there everywhere. I meet them in the pool. I meet them at the beach. I meet them on random fucking spots. It happens to me all the time online. Now my ads, it's awesome. And I feel it just comes from that knowing that it can be done, you know, attraction mode, getting your own self in that alignment of what it is that you want to see in the world and experience in the world, and loving on your experience of the experience. And just and yeah, recognizing yourself where you're being too attached to the outcome, to, you know, sitting on your laptop for hours at a time, and then it's ending up in a negative spiral. Like I give you permission to fucking shut that shit down. Get out to the beach. And sometimes getting out to the beach takes effort, because you're so conditioned to be in the pain and the suffering. Like, it's some really, I know this because I come from depression, like that, to get out and get into nature, like, oh, like you're just like, no, I just want to be in bed and watch Netflix. I just, you know, I've been in those moments a lot, like, but the minute you do it, oh my God, life changing. But that you know, you start to train yourself more and more, and you realize on the other side, like, you're like, oh, it's way more nourishing if I just go to the bed. And so it's like, but you have to be willing to go through that uncomfort, the willingness, the courageousness to you know, to try these new things, to test and trial of what was sharing with you. These are quantum tools that if they were, you know, everyone would be doing them if they were just like, you know, if they really, you know, if they were readily available and people were readily available to be embodied. But embodiment takes you being embodied, which means doing the thing, being in that, remembering, like listening to your words, you know, doing the actionable steps that help, and also like letting go and being in nature and allowing yourself to receive. But it's a process. So just know that it's happening. It's like, just by this one fucking call, magic will happen. Like, know that. Like, know that. Make that your normal. Every time you fucking listen to a training, shit shifting and magic is happening. Every time you walk out the door, magic is happening. You know, when I have a conversation with someone, magic is happening. Who knows? I'm always like, I wonder what's going to happen, you know? And I'll meet people and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be the most epic movement. And then like that, I see human behavior and they pull away and I'm like, oh, but I don't get upset about it, but I'm like, oh, I wonder when that's going to come back. You know, like, I'm like, oh, like, because I saw this big Brazilian movement going to kick off recently. This woman's amazing. And her human self resisted some stuff. And I'm like, oh, still think it's good. You know, like, I'm excited to see when that Brazilian movement activates. We'll just, you know, so I'm excited by it, but I'm not holding my attachment to her doing the thing that she's not willing to do right now. You know, I might go and ask her about it, but I'm not going to force her or push her or whatever, because that's you know, that's her opportunity to grow, and it's not mine. If the resonance isn't going that way, I'm going to refocus my you know, I'm going to open up to what other magic is out there and see where else the threads will take me, because the threads can take you in multiple directions at any moment. You could be heading this way with this person, and all of a sudden something else magically opens up and something massive, you know, takes off that you had no idea about, and you love everyone the same, but just, you know, just witness the journey. Like, it's multiple layers. There's multiple pathways that are going to open up, different humans, different masterclasses and events and things that you can be doing that can, you know, take you on different pathways, like the different mentorships that people invest in, like that takes you down different pathways, you know. And just know that this is just an unlimited space of potential, and you are uncapped potential, and now you have uncapped income to go alongside with that. So, like, yeah, just tapping in more and more into how unlimited that you are, how uncapped you are in your potentiality. You know, we are so magnificent as human beings. Like, we can grow massively. Our consciousness, like, expands. You can have quantum leaps. I look back at 1 week ago and the person I was a week ago, and I'm like, holy shit, I was like a whole other person just a week ago. like, like, how quickly is that shifting? And so, like, look back at your journey too. Like, every few months, like, go back and look at the pictures and like go, wow, you know, who was I there? Oh, that was another person. That was another version of me. Oh, that's another version of me. All of it's me. But I'm just growing and expanding and trying and testing out all these different versions of me. Like, I'm uncapped. I can be whoever I want to be. One day I'm a fisherwoman, and one day I'm a mom, one day I'm this, you know, one day I'm a hectic businesswoman. Like, we're not limited. We're literally, we can learn how to grow into whatever we want to grow into and expand, and our consciousness also, as we grow information in. And this is the last thing. So I know the other thing was the last thing, but with you guys, like, in the group chats that you guys have, this is something that's really, really crucial. And it's another thing. Everything I'm saying is intentional. It's something that I've learned through years of, you know, development processes and so forth. Is like, when you learn something, go and share it with the group chat for the other people that aren't in there, to inspire them. Get used to that. Get used to I said this before, get used to going and sharing it with someone, get used to putting it on your posts, you know, spend an extra 5 minutes on your post. If you're burnt out because you have spent a lot of time doing this, wait for yourself to get nourished again, go and nourish yourself, and then put a post out about what this experience was like, you know. But get in the habit of energy, like the more you'll receive more, you'll download more, you'll keep it embodied more, the more that you practice to also externally create it in your physical form, you know, like, so if you know, like writing it, speaking it, expressing to others. And it's also an energy exchange, right? So you're giving energy to others. You're starting to learn how to be a leader by leading others. You're starting to learn how to, you know, be, you know, the leader of your chat. Like, even if you're the 1A and you've only got, you know, you come in a product, a couple of products, like, be the leader of your chat now. Start sharing some positive shit with each other, like, to support each other. Or like, I just did this actionable step. I just did, hey, is anyone keen to be a TFE accountability? We'll both do a training this week, and next week let's come back and share what we learned. So that means you can split up, like there's multiple of yous on this call, that you could go and all learn something completely different. And as a leadership project, come back and actually share so you condense the time of having to go and watch all the trainings by each individual person watching a training and coming back and teaching on it as a leader, like as if they're the leader again, because you're embodying the leadership. So, you know, it's like, do you want to, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's quantum leap our education this week. Everyone go out, watch one training each, come back and share with the team what they learned. You know, and these are like little things you can do. But yeah, in the chats, in your life, you know, be that now. Start to create that habit now, you know. All right. I hope that was awesome. I'd love to hear.
That was amazing. Incredible.
Yeah, all your favorite takeaways. No, I'm sure there's even one takeaway each. That would be great.
So cool. And I just want to say how funny that you know, the power went out for Kim. Jen just texted and said her phone died and she doesn't know why, and then your phone overheated. Just proves like the frequency that you're putting through is just like higher than all the technology and power. And really cool, really cool.
So much fun. I love this. I love it. Yeah, if
kind of yeah, sorry, I was gonna say, like, I got you along to, you know, to empower the team and inspire them, but I feel like the call was literally just for me. It was amazing. Thank you.
That's it. That's alignment. Yeah, if in the chat, just on this meeting chat, I'd love to see everyone's like favorite aha moment or takeaway and one actionable step that you're going to be taking. And this is something you can also add into that, your meeting, your actual group chat as well. Like, what was your favorite takeaway and one actionable step that you're going to be doing, you know? And you guys can share it here so I can see it, just so I can receive, because that's going to be, this is what it feels like. So when I didn't receive them, it felt a bit like, you know, but now that I'm receiving them, this is you guys giving me back energy. And it's the same in the chats, right? It's the same on social media. It's like we're sharing energy. So when we receive, and same on huddles, you know, when they're talking, like when you start to put in the chats, it's like we're sharing energy versus, you know, and start getting used to sharing, like letting other people speak, you speaking, sharing your gifts, sharing your knowledge, letting them share their gold, you know. So proximity is power. Takeaway is the power of support, and use it. Really need to get back into proximity of others, taking action. I am choosing to get back into proximity of others, because you don't really need to, but you can. Definitely can. It's a choice. But maybe you do really need it. Who knows? Only you know that. Awesome. I'm going to go off and write myself limiting beliefs and reframe them. Beautiful. And then start to do that as a consistent behavior throughout the day over the next week, like as many times as you can in life, you know, as you want to keep reprogramming that, like, oh, that's the you know, that I witnessed that beautiful support, or I witness whatever the new thing is. Life and business, and you may see it completely inside this business and outside this business, and just you're just randomly sitting in a cafe and you witness it, you know, and it's just being mindful. Oh, there it is. That's it happening in another person's life, or that's it happening in my life when someone just called me and offered their support. Just be present in the moment and more, and not worry about being on the phone, laptop of the things I should be doing. Just soaking in the joy. Yes. Amplifying the frequency. I'm always attracting the willingness to choose a higher vibration, stepping into my leadership self. Action step, finding my accountability partner. Awesome. Also, get in the habit of sharing and being the leader. Beautiful. Love that. Reprogramming my limiting beliefs, writing down the new belief and posting it everywhere. And then also acknowledging it in your life, when you see it, when you witness it. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is again. There it is again. And then it will start to expand and expand and expand. And then it will probably be your team members coming to you, right? In that, whatever the opposite is. Or opportunities for you to support more, or opportunities for you to lead more, or opportunities that's what this space is about. Shifting energy. Love the mindset of putting out magic happens every time I watch a huddle, every time I walk out the door. What magic's going to happen today? Boom, boom. Phew. All right. This has been wonderful. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's been so awesome. So look out for the magic today. Like, look out for the synchronicities. Look out for the blessings. Look out for the random person that reaches out. Like, and fucking honor that and acknowledge it and celebrate it. And so more and more can happen for you in your life. I love you guys.
Thank you. Big love.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Guys, have an
See
epic day.
everyone.
Bye.